What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. It has been a minute, hasn't it? I haven't posted for about a week or so, and for those of you who are watching this video for the first time, you're probably thinking, what the heck is this guy going on about? Well, I'm very sorry first of all, because anytime I don't post, I just always think, oh my god, my subscribers and all of that. You're always thinking about it. And what it was is last week I just got inundated with so much work, I just couldn't post because I had to focus back on my websites. So anyway, I've been grinding, I've been grafting, and I'm back with some content. All right, and as you guys know, I'm always testing everything so meticulously so I can report all of that information back to you. And as I grow, you can grow as well with your skill sets and knowledge that you gain from watching these videos. All right, so what we're gonna go through today is actually my plan to scale my niche website. So one of my sites in the dog space was doing got all the way up to like $1,200 per month, and then now all the way back down again. And I'll actually do an income report video to show you exactly where it's at and what it done last month for Friday's video, just say, because I've got Wednesday. Okay, Friday I'll release another video. All right, but what I've got here today is a plan that I've actually put together to scale this site to $3,000 per month. Now, this isn't actually perfect yet. I'm constantly iterating the plan and improving it, but this is currently where I'm at, and I'm going to try and show you some like few tutorials throughout this video as well, so you can see the actual actionable steps that I'm doing when I'm referencing certain areas of growing the site. All right, so I'm going to be going through absolutely everything that I'm doing and exactly how I plan on doing this. So the site, we could say, averages about $500 per month, and I'm planning to scale it to $3,000 by the end of the year to hopefully flip the site for like 80k, 100k. So let's see if I can do it. It's a massive challenge for me. I haven't done it before, but of course, you guys can follow me on that journey. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is I've actually signed back up to Ahrefs. For many of you who don't know what Ahrefs is, it's an SEO tool, and it allows you to run different kind of audits on your site or potentially find keywords and backlink analysis. So it's essentially like a tool that reverse engineers websites, all right? Just like any other SEO tool. But it's a very good one and very accurate. All right, so if we actually look at the information I've got here, the first thing I've got on the list is that I ran an Ahrefs audit. Now, I use the past tense ran because I've already done this, and what that does is it generally gives you a health score. Now, you can do this on many different sites. Screaming Frog is another site, but essentially it brings up any kind of 404 errors, any 301 redirects that are timing out or anything like that. If you've got any broken links across your site, if there's any keyword cannibalization, which is essentially where Google's trying to rank you for the same term with two different pages, and that can be quite stifling to your site's growth as well. So that's one thing that I see a lot of people don't actually go and filter out and fix. And keyword cannibalization can be easily caused from just having similar words within your permalink titles or content. Right, the next thing that I did is I reverse engineered my competitors. Now, what this is for is to find keyword potential. So what I do is I actually go over to a tool called keysearch.co, and I put in my website, my target website, and I use the competitor gap tool to actually drum in some competitor websites to see all of the keywords that they're ranking for that I'm not currently ranking for. And then I actually do Command F on a Mac or Control F on a PC, and then I type best to bring out all those buyer intent keywords so I can see all the best this, best that, best this, best that, all those keywords that I'm not actually ranking for. Now, currently my site's at about 70% informational. Now, to get this goal achieved, I'm currently at a 3% commission rate from an 8%. So the site has dramatically dropped based on Amazon's commission structure. So what my plan is to actually increase the amount of buyer intent content on the site in hope that I can actually, make that money back and recuperate those lost funds by having more buyer intent traffic come into the website. All right, now I am monetizing currently also with Ezoic ads as well as ClickBank and Amazon, as you know. Now, the next thing that I did was reverse engineer my own website. Now, what I'm looking for inside of this is basically accidental rankers. So any kind of keywords that I'm showing up for, I can potentially create a subsection on the page that's showing up for it. And you can easily do that by going over to Google Search Console, going and searching the keywords that you're showing up for based on impressions, and then filter it through to actually find the pages that are showing up for those keywords. Now, if those keywords are actually keywords that are not suitable for that page, then you can create its own standalone page as Google thinks you're quite relevant for that keyword, but you just haven't optimized well enough for it to show up in the top 10. So ultimately, you can go and create more content around those keywords where you know that you're going to be favored by the search engines. The next thing I did was fix all those errors, as I said. So keyword cannibalization, 404s, anything that the Ahrefs tool didn't sweep up, I went round and just, done a kind of technical audit, a manual check as well, and just fixed anything that I found. Alt text, I was also adding that into my images. That I do find makes up keyword density as from my research now. So that is very important towards your on-page SEO, because you can be over-optimized just based on the keyword density. And if any of you actually read my email that I sent out yesterday, you would see that I'm now using a tool called Surfer SEO. And honestly, I've been getting some amazing results with Surfer SEO. I'm not affiliated with it in any way. I would highly recommend you go and check out that tool. It tells you the exact keyword density, where to place the keywords on the page based on correlation marketing. So what it does is analyze the top 10 ranking websites, and then you select the ones that are closest to your site based on authority, and then it will allow you to actually find the exact kind of method to place your keywords within on the page, which is very important. And then it also tells you the exact keyword density based on the phrase and individual single keywords. And then there's going to be secondary keywords that your competitors are also ranking for that can potentially bring some additional traffic that you might not have included within your article. So it actually allows you to include all of that and incorporate it in a very natural way, and the tool's just very good. Honestly, I'd highly recommend that you check out Surfer SEO. I did actually then go on to no-follow some of the links that were going from my homepage off to the privacy policy disclosure page and all of the other pages like contact and stuff like that that doesn't need to be passing link juice. Now, some people might argue the fact that you don't need to do that, but based on the strategy that I'm implementing, I need to be very kind of strong on my technical SEO. So I'm not willing to risk any of my link juice escaping to those pages when it doesn't really need to. Now, I did de-index all of my category pages and also the blog articles, because the blog reels themselves don't really need to show up within Google's index. Again, I might get burned for that, in the comment section. I'm a bit unsure and a bit skeptical about de-indexing my blog, but I've currently done that. So the individual pages are still indexed, but not the actual reel of the blog. Subsequently, I've also obviously de-indexed the category pages and the tags pages and all of the date archives, all of those kind of things, because I don't want to be wasting my crawl budget for Google to be crawling all of those pages when I don't want them to show up in the Google index. They're purely there for the use of the reader. So they will still be able to navigate to those pages, but Google doesn't need to actually use up that budget that it's applying to my site on those pages that are completely irrelevant to showing up in search engines. The next thing that I'm going to be going through is just actioning some trust factors. So that means, improving the contact page, improving the about us page, and maybe have a team page as well. I'm also going to be applying to each of the authors some social media pages as well, so it looks very genuine, very natural. I might also register the website on Google My Business, GMB, just to give it a kind of tangible kind of feel to the search engines, and then anything else that can increase my general trust. So maybe like some citations, which is essentially registering your website on some local directories, almost like yellow pages, but within your niche. So you go and do that, and it gives you some credibility and potentially might give you a no-follow backlink. You could even get a do-follow if you get the right citations. The next thing on the list is to actually clean up any over-optimized pages. Now, this is one of the ways that you can just simply really drop rankings and lose traffic very quickly, or you could be missing out on potential traffic that you could be having. So all of those pages that are over optimized, which I'll be able to clearly identify with the Surfer SEO tool, I'm going to reduce those densities to increase the accuracy of the on-page SEO for those pages. So any of my pages that are showing up in positions like 4 to 20 or 10 to 20, I'd say maybe 11 to 20, I'm going to be really honing down and trying to push them up the ranks and get them into the top 10. And if you want to know how I'd prioritize that, I'm going to be starting with the pages that have the most traffic, and you can quickly identify that by going to Google Analytics behavior tab on the left, overview, and then seeing the full report and actually seeing your pages in order of traffic. So you can actually find all those pages that are in those positions that are not bring in the amount of traffic that it could potentially bring in. I'm also going to sweep up any articles that are just not showing up in the top 100 and just potentially like get rid of them. Honestly, I don't think that those pages should be getting crawled if they're not showing up and they're like 150 or 120. And you know, you can do a site semicolon and then your web page to see if it's actually being indexed. But all of those pages that are just not showing up in the top 100, I'm going to be looking at them of whether they're worthy of actually improving and optimizing for on-page SEO with Surfer and keyword densities to see if there's any kind of issues there, or if they are orphaned pages, so they might not have any internal links coming to them, or it's just a difficult keyword and my content might not be good enough or might not have enough authority. For those pages, I'm going to be looking at potentially removing them, or if they're in the 50 to 100 mark, then I might get an article rewrite. Now you might ask, what warrants an article rewrite? Well, for me personally, if I see a page stagnant for about 6 months straight, then in that scenario, I'm going to probably get it rewritten. If I go back on the content and feel that it's not good enough, then I'll get it rewritten, improved, and then optimize it with the correct densities on the keywords based on phrases and single keyword densities. Now, for the keywords that are actually showing up in positions 5 to 10, I'll be sending direct anchor text links with internal links to those pages, because that's one of the best signals you can give to Google and any other search engine that that page is relevant on that particular topic. You don't want to go too heavy on anchor text. I'm not going to give you the exact metrics as I'm using Matt Diggity's course for this, but I'm going to be sending a lot more exact match anchor text in my internal structure. And this is all based on testing that's been carried out by Matt Diggity and Diggity Marketing. And I have enough evidence to carry this out for this particular website and to run that test. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to monitor those results and I'll report that back to you over the coming weeks as well. Now let's move on to my on-site changes. So these are going to be site-wide changes that I make across the website entirely. So I've got SEO title tags. I'm going to be front loading them. So for all the pages that are not showing up where they should be, maybe I'll go back into some of these pages and the keyword is not front loaded, or I don't have the entire phrase within the keyword, within the H1 title, sorry. I'm going to be re-optimizing those pages to potentially try and grab a higher position within the search result. I'm also going to be adding schema to individual pages. So Google actually has a tool where you can head over and create schema and then input that into the back end of the page, so in the coded side of the page, and you can actually apply schema to individual pages. And what that is essentially is if you type like recipes or something like that, and you can see the star rating, or you can see additional information that helps you better understand or grab that information very quickly from the topic that you're searching. So how that can benefit me is I'm essentially going to be telling Google and the search engines a lot more about my page. So it's giving them more information so they can obviously determine my page or understand it a little bit better, and then potentially reward me with some better rankings. Now let's move into the interesting part, which is going to be creative monetization. So I'm going to be monetizing this site in a few different ways. Given the circumstance with the Amazon changes, this now warrants for me to take actions accordingly and make some relevant changes to the site and the way that it's monetized. So one of the things that I'm going to be focusing on is creating a back-end 5-day sequence on emails. Okay, so I'm not currently collecting emails on the site. I was initially when I built the site. I'm going to be using Thrive opt-ins for this. I'm going to be placing in-content opt-in forms, so 2 to 3 times within each article based on my info content. You don't want to be doing this on your buyer intent because you want to keep one page to one goal. I'll also be placing a sticky sidebar widget where I'll collect some more leads, and I'll also be doing an exit pop-up. Now, I'm a bit skeptical about doing the exit pop-up. I'll have to test that and see how that performs. If that starts to hurt my user experience, then I'll remove it. And I do know that Google don't want you advertising like that on your website. So it's not something that Google are in support of. So I'm a little bit skeptical about that. I'm not quite sure that I'll actually apply that, but the other two I definitely will. And the way I'm going to create this lead magnet is if you actually go to Ahrefs tool, go to the Content Explorer and search by your topic, sort them by Twitter shares or some type of level of high shares. You can find the most popular topics that people are typing or that is being shared across the internet on your given topic. And what you want to do for that is basically create a PDF lead magnet around that. And I'm just going to go on Fiverr, hire someone, get them to create a lead magnet. Maybe it's like a 20-page book, 10 pages, 5 pages, whatever it may be. that will collect the email, and then in the back end of that, I'm actually going to create my own digital product that I'm going to monetize the site with. So I'm going to go pay like $200-300, maybe $400 to get an ebook on dog training created, and that's the book that I'm going to monetize. So I'm going to create this digital product, and then I'm going to promote that across the site. Because the site's getting so much traffic, I believe I could be capturing way more of that traffic, potentially in the back end with the emails, and by promoting it on the front end within my articles as well, or maybe on the sidebar widget. Who knows how I'm going to do it? Obviously, these are the methods that I'm going to be applying. I'm going to replace the top 3 ranking products within each of my Amazon reviews on the best buys with individual vendors. So if I can actually reach out, I've given some methods inside of my ebook, which I would highly recommend you check out if you're new to this channel and you're trying to learn SEO. I have an ebook that I've put together with these methods and tips in detail that you can actually get, and you can get the book in the description box. Just go to my own book and you'll see it in the description. But anyway, enough promotion. Yeah, but what I'm going to be doing is basically creating this ebook, replacing the top 3 products with individual products. So, you know, people are usually buying the first 1, 2, or 3 products that you recommend, or if you have a best overall product, you can potentially try it. The 2 things you're going to be looking out for is a good landing page and a much higher commission rate. If you're getting like a 70% commission rate, then obviously that can compensate for the lower conversions that you might get. This requires excessive split testing, and I will need to carry that out. I'm not quite sure on the tool I'll use for the split testing yet, but I'll know that more towards the time. I'm also going to be split testing Ezoic ads against whatever advertising network or somewhat other services that can provide me a level of competition for the amount I'm earning on ad revenue. Now, I might look into actually Ezoic and optimizing Ezoic ads, optimizing my content more for Ezoic ads. That's a fine line, and I've got a good friend that I've recently come into contact with and had a phone call with, which is Morton. I'd highly recommend you guys check out his channel, but he's very good with Ezoic. So I think I'll probably watch more videos on his analytics and how he goes through finding good content ideas or increasing his ad revenue with Ezoic. But Ezoic also has a switch that you can just trip and optimize for more revenue. I was prior on the user experience, so I was more like trying to optimize for user experience, which might be the reason why my ad revenue wasn't so high. But I'm now going to be switching it to revenue focused, and we're going to see how that is, because I'm going to prepare the site potentially for sale. So if I can squeeze out as much cash out of it as possible, then obviously the new owners can take it from there. Now, the next thing I'm going to be doing is running a backlink campaign. Now, I'm not going to share the exact method within this video. That's purely because I've recently purchased Matt Diggity's course, and I'm going to be running his backlink strategies within for this website. I can tell you though that it does involve citations, which is local citations, the directories as I mentioned earlier, social signals, which many of you can get. I personally use redsocial.net, and then you've got guest posts, link insertions, some people call it niche edits, which you are potentially just placing a link on an existing page. That can be quite relevant and quite helpful, because you know the page might have links going to it and already have some authority that it can pass over to you. Or guest posts, which are on brand new websites where you get the content written for a new article and then link over to your post on your site. And I might potentially test out the skyscraper technique, which is recommended by Backlinko, Brian Dean. And what that involves is basically going and finding like an ultimate piece of content that's being shared all over the internet. You usually go to like BuzzSumo, or even you could use, I'd imagine, Ahrefs Content Explorer, and you sort by the content that's being shared the most. And what you want to do is create an ultimate guide, even better than that, and you want to go like 50% to 100% the amount of content length that they've covered, and well more research, more friendly, more in depth, and just better overall. Then what you do is reverse engineer that page. So you go and drum it into Ahrefs or key search, and then you basically reverse it by finding all the organic keywords that page, all the backlinks that page has directing to it based on the specific URL, so not the entire domain. And then you basically export all of those listed websites that are actually linking to that page, and then you go and hire a VA, or you can do it yourself, and you go and do an outreach campaign to reach out to all of those webmasters, and then you can potentially obviously try and get them to link out out to your piece of content, as you already have information that they've linked out to something very similar. Some of them may be, you know, charging you for this, or some of them may just replace the existing link that they had to the other site. If you create something better, it's a better resource for the readers, and this can be quite beneficial, because then what you can do is all of that outreach and all that link juice that actually comes in and all that authority that comes into that page, you can then disperse that to other areas of your website on relevant money pages. So I'm going to be going very heavy on buyer intent content, and I'll actually dig into my keyword strategy in just a moment as well. The next thing is the keyword strategy. So the keyword research strategy, which would be a bit before this, is I was doing competitor research, as I said to you, but one of the other methods that I'm doing is basically going over to Ahrefs, typing in the top of silo. I'm going to be using a silo on this site. I'm not going to explain all about silos in this video, but what that is basically where you go and find your ultimate top page that you want to rank. So just say, for example, it's like, I don't know, best dog crates. Okay, so you're going to build a silo all about dog crates. Well, what you would do is you would get the short tail, like dominant, big, massive traffic keyword at the top. That's going to be the one that all these other pages are going to link to, and then you're going to link back from that page to these other pages. So you've got this feedback loop going. And what you want to do is basically have like best dog crates #1 at the top, yeah, and then underneath that, in a hierarchy kind of fashion, you're going to have sub pages that are going to be best dog crate for winter, best dog crate for dogs that don't eat, or whatever the long tail keywords are, but they're all going to be best by keywords. And then your informational content can link over to those silos, increase the overall link juice and authority that's being passed throughout those pages. So that's one of the other ways that I went and fished out a bunch of different keywords. And if you want to know how I'm actually finding them on Ahrefs, I'm actually sorting by 50 volume search or above. They need to have 5 words or more within the phrase, and then obviously it needs to include the word best, because I'm looking for all those. And if you actually do that on the also ranks for tab that you would have seen within this video, then you'll be able to find a bunch of different keywords randomly that you would have never thought of, and you can export that into a list and then save that within a keyword research whatever document. All right, the last thing is going to be, how am I going to scale this site? Because everything I've talked about so far is improving the existing website and optimizing it, adding some more content, of course, but how am I actually going to take this site to the next level? Well, one of the main ways is content. You're going to have to publish. Okay, so I'm going to double the size of the site. The site currently has about 107 articles. Some of them are it's going to diminish, because obviously I'm going to be removing some of those pages that are just stagnant, that haven't shown up. I've seen a few personally, and that I can't mention off the top of my head, but I've definitely seen a few pages that fall right into that list. So once that's reduced, I'm going to double the size of the site very snappy and very quickly, because I'm going to be hiring out non-stop. So what I'm going to do is figure out, okay, if I've got 6 months to write all of this content, which I'm not going to write myself, I might write some of them, but I'll probably hire writers at this stage only. And you can ask for my writing content services below or whatever. I'll drop that as a reply in the comments. But what I'm going to do is, if I've got 6 months to write 100 pieces, then I'm going to divide 100 by 6. And then obviously I can't do maths that well, but that will work out like 15 or something like that. 20 times 5 is 100, whatever. And then from there, 15 pieces per month for the next month. Then I'll divide that by 4, and then that might give me 3, 6, 9, 12. Okay, like say 4 pieces of content per week. So then I know, okay, 4 pieces need to go out per week to hit that target in 6 months to double the size of the site. So that's exactly the method that I'm going to be using. I'm also going to be doing some featured snippet optimization. You can capture snippets from as far back as position 20 on the second page, and you can be showing up in the 0 position for a given keyword. The way you can actually find that is by drumming in your site to Ahrefs tool, showing up all the organic keywords that you're showing up for, and then you can actually filter it by the keywords that have featured snippets. So you can see what ones you're ranking for, maybe not in the, you want to go for the top 20 that you're showing up for, and you can see all of the ones that have featured snippet positions, which is quite handy for you, because obviously you can go and optimize for that and go and add a similar structure to what's showing up currently in the featured snippet position to try and steal that position. And featured snippet optimization is very good because it actually gives you quick results in SEO, which is quite unheard of. So you could optimize a featured snippet and get results by the afternoon potentially. That's how quick it can be. The other thing is, I'm just going to be running Matt Diggity's site size explosion and his other methods. I'm not going to go into that because I don't feel comfortable sharing that. That's his paid course, but he has a method, a few different things that he uses to just completely blow up a website. So if that actually works out for me, then obviously at the same time I'll be able to report that back to you, and given, you know, some information I'll be able to share with you as well. So that's essentially what I'm going to be doing. And once it hits that stage where it's just in that authority mode and I'm potentially showing up within the first 2 pages on Google, like the top 20, by just publishing a new piece of content, which you can relatively do kind of now, but at that point I'm going to just focus like 80% of my efforts on just publishing, and everything will kind of go back. I'll still be running backlinks to the site, but my main focus will be publishing content at that time. And this is my plan to basically take the site to $3,000 per month. You know, the products that I'll be focusing on replacing on the site are going to be ones that I find that are not so good on Amazon, that people would preferably purchase elsewhere. So, you know, I just watched an income school video which was quite interesting, and it was talking about a firearms website that was monetizing with individual affiliate products, third-party vendors, sorry, and not Amazon. And they said, you know, the products that you can't purchase on Amazon or are not commonly found on Amazon are usually the products that monetize very well with a specific, you know, third-party vendors. So you really want to look into that if you are looking at monetizing elsewhere and making some more money on the existing traffic that you have, because you can make way more, you know, than just monetizing with Amazon. Amazon's great for beginners and getting your feet wet and learning about, you know, making money with blogs and whatever. But once you actually do get a bit experienced, I think you can venture out. You don't have to stick to Amazon, and there are people absolutely killing it with, you know, going out there and just finding these individual. One of the other things that I was going to do as well is something that Matt Diggity shares again. He's actually shared this publicly, so I can say it, is I might test out actually reaching out to the affiliate vendors that are that I'm selling the most products from, and then trying to sell them my Facebook pixel data. So if I place their Facebook tracking pixel on my website, this will you can rent the pixel, you know, for maybe $500. I don't know how GDPR compliant that is, as the same as quoted from Matt Diggity. It's something that I'll potentially test out, because if you can rent that out for a quick $500, then you can, you know, if you rent it to 2-3 vendors, you're making $1,500. That's halfway to the target, bar the earnings that the site already has, you know. So these are the ways that you can quickly snap bang increase your earnings in different ways. This plan might improve. If it does, I'll tell you about the relevant changes. I hope you got a crap ton of value from this video. If you are new, then make sure to subscribe. I'm back to attack in the videos, and yeah, like, I hope you got a breath of fresh air from this, and let's see if I can hit this target, because now you're holding me accountable, and I love it, you know, because it puts that pressure on me. But I love all the pressure, you know. That's what keeps me and gives me a kick up the bum every so often, you know. But I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, leave it below. I highly recommend that you do check out my ebook. It's a brilliant book, and it will help you so much. Like, honestly, I'm constantly improving it, so even for those who already purchased it, it's had improvements since then, and I'll send it out to them, of course. Yeah, if you really want to learn SEO and all of this stuff with niche websites, predominantly monetizing with Amazon, then go and buy that book. It's only $37, and honestly, it's worth every single cent or penny, or whatever country you're in. All right, so I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching, and peace.